Welcome back. It has been a while since I've made a video, but I'm pretty excited to show you guys Antler Grove Disc Golf Course today. We are here in Deer Park, Washington, just north of the Spokane area. My name is Diego Domine, and today we're going to be playing a full round on the AMS layout. Starting off at hole 1, par 3, 223 feet, and it's asking for a straight shot up the gut with a putter or mid. This course is all about being technical, lacing your line, and making sure you stay in the fairway. I mean, woods golf is really fun, but it can be punishing if you are not careful. But nonetheless, let's get it going. Have a good round. Being that this is also a casual round, we are doing the obligatory 2 off 1, starting off with my detour, and I'm just looking for a nice straight hyzer flip through the gap to get to the basket. There's a gentle fade. That was actually going to go long, so I'm glad I was able to use that tree as a backstop, and I was able to park the hole. Second shot, it's going to be with my Rock 3, and this one's more stable, so I'm going to be going for a anti-flex. Missed my line and off the fairway, which is just a great example of how fast you can get off of the fairway. But luckily, it's 2 off 1. First disc was parked, and I'm able to get a birdie. Onward to hole 2, par 3, 251 feet. From the tee pad, it's gonna slightly veer to the right to get to the basket. The pure line, in my opinion, would probably be the backhand anhyzer for the righty. For me being a lefty, I could just go basically straight with a gentle hyzer shot with a neutral disc, slightly understable, but it won't fade as hard as my Rock 3, so I went with my DX Rock. Landing in the fairway into C2 for my birdie putt. And for the comebacker for par. Next hole, hole 3, par 3, 270 feet. At this part of the course, it's gonna go downhill slightly with a lot of these like small bushes, and you see how like there's a bit of just tall grass and pockets of rough. That's kind of like another theme of this course too. Even though you're on the fairway, you can have some weird footing or be in an uncomfortable position because there's a lot of those pockets of just tall grass that can really get you. Going here with my Sexton Firebird for honestly a basic straight to hard fade shot, looking for a little bit of the stability. Kind of shanked it. I went on the inside track there, and I did still land in the fairway, but now I have a pretty tough C2 putt for birdie. And my reaction was that it rolled. So now I'm left with a tough putt for par with a tree in my way. So I'm trying to ante this disc to the basket. Now putting for bogey. A lot of the baskets here are on slopes, sloped hills, so roll away is definitely a possibility here. Next hole, hole 4, par 3, 278 feet. You got to get through this first gap of trees, and then it opens up onto the fairway, and then slowly turns left to where you'll see the basket. And there's a lot of skipping potential here, so ideally for a righty backhand you would just do a stock hyzer shot and get a little bit of ground play. Because there's a lot of pine needles here, a lot of wood chips, you do get more ground play more often than not. Switching discs up here, I think I felt a little bit of wind, so I wanted to stable up. Actually, no, it wasn't the wind. I wanted to stable up because I wanted a harder fade. So the initial destroyer I had was not as stable as this one. And honestly, off the hand, it looked like it was a little bit too low. But again, because of that open fairway, I was able to get a pretty decent skip to land in circle 2. And here's my bid for birdie. Decent bid, just a little bit off to the left. Honestly, if that was to the right, it probably would have went in. But here's for par. Hole 5, par 3, 260 feet. There's a opening at the beginning of the fairway, but honestly the real challenge of this particular hole are all of these guardian trees just right in front of the basket. You have these little pockets of just windows that you need to navigate through in order to get through the green. That's really where the challenge of this hole lies. So honestly, you just kind of throw a disc down there and do what you can, but pray that it gets through. I'm going with my DX Rock for a gentle anhyzer. Love the snap. And there it is. Was able to get through no problem, and that is parked. Like, that is parked. One of my better shots. I think that's my best CTP on this hole. So played 5 holes, and my score is -1 so far. Hole 6, par 4, 486 feet. This is the first par 4 of the course, and honestly, it's a really fun one. It's a downhill shot, so you're gonna shoot down this gully, and there is a Mando on that right there. As you can see, the drop zone is just right there next to the Mando. Just gotta watch out for the branches because it is a downhill shot. You're just gonna want to watch your height on your disc. Me going with my sidewinder for a hyzer flip. There's the hyzer flip, but remember what I told you about the height? Because that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, I landed in the fairway. It's still okay, but now my footing's kind of weird and I'm in this precarious position. I did miss the Mando, but again, it's another downhill shot. But with my footing, it's pretty tough. And I do not get the height right, and I am severely punished. A lot of these bushes, these like shrubs that are just on the fairway, they're just like scattered throughout. Like, they can get you in real trouble. Like, I had nothing there because I was just so inside of the bush. So pitching out with my dart, and now I have this long bid for par, downhill bid, and then you can see the leaves rustling too, so it's pretty windy. The wind just carried that just a little bit farther past the basket. Now I have a shot for a bogey. This next hole, hole 7, I think is the iconic hole of this course. It's so pretty. It's a par 3, 275 feet. You are on top of a hill shooting down across this road to go back up on a hill. There's OB on the right side, but it's such a beautiful looking shot shape, and I think this is the hole to play on this course. I mean, look at this view. It's equivalent to, I don't know, hole 10 at Sakani. That is the iconic hole of that course. So here I'm just going with my duo leopard 3 with a gentle anhyzer to fade back. Decent snap. There was also a bit of wind too, and that run of leopard is one of the more stable runs. So I knew that it wasn't just going to turn over on me, and it had a little bit of torque resistance. Putting for my birdie. Honestly, that was a really good putt. I don't know if you could tell, but you know, the leaves are swaying. My shirt is billowing in the wind. I got a little scared of not being able to make that putt. And on to hole 8. It's a par 4. Only 375 feet, but it is uphill. And again, there's lots of trees, and there's no Mando or anything, but there's a lot of shrubs that can get you in trouble if you happen to land there. Again, elevation is the issue here, and height. You got to make sure that you don't hit those branches, because if you aim too high, you're going to hit the branches and they're going to stop all your progress. They're just going to slam down your disc. Going with my Duo Destroyer, my Heimberg edition, which is not as stable as my Scoggins Destroyer. It was so close to being really great. But again, height is an issue, especially when you're driving up a hill. So now I'm left with a patent pending shot for my approach. Hitting those trees again. A lot of the branches, again, like my footing was tough. Still in the fairway, but I'm having to resort to just a jump shot with my Berg. Pretty decent jump putt. And here's my look for par. Next hole, hole 9, par 3, 179 feet. It is the shortest hole in the course. Pretty simple. You have that tree in the middle, and you either go left gap or right gap. Choose one, commit, then you'll be good to go. You'll have a good chance to land on this green. Pretty open. Just one obstacle. Just go with a overstable putter, zone or something like that. For me, I'm going with my Toro. Choosing the right gap. Turned it over. Even with the overstability of the disc, it was not enough. Yeah, I was pretty upset at myself there, just telling myself, dude, just hyzer it properly. Got a circle 2 bid for birdie. There was a tailwind too, so my disc went immediately down. It got hammered by the wind, and it's pretty disappointing to get a par there with such a short hole, but no damage done. On to the next one. This one is hole 10 to par 4, 411 feet. You got to get through this tunnel land in a good spot just at the bottom of the hill. I mean, if you lace it, you can land about halfway up through the hill for a good eagle look, but it's asking for just a basic straight shot. I mean, if you're playing placement golf, you don't have to be really aggressive. Just shoot a mid down there and just have it fly as straight as an arrow. For me, I do want to go a little bit more aggressive, so I'm going with my sidewinder for a hyzer flip. Landed in the fairway. Honestly, not a bad position. Using my Toro for a chip shot, up shot. Still actually learning that Toro again. That particular one is was not as beefy as I thought it would be, so I gave it a kind of like a harsh angle there, but wasn't. I landed in a decent spot, but wasn't able to get the birdie. So here's my shot for par. On to the next one, hole 11, par 3, 247 feet. Pretty straightforward. You're at the top of a hill, shooting down. The height plays into the hole here, so you're going to want to shoot low, and a lot of people just go for the ground play because it's so clean there at the bottom that you just aim low and then let the disc scooch forward and get close to the basket. Here I am with my Firefly, just going for a gentle hyzer flip, and it'll glide straight. There it is. Even though it was low, again, like ground play, it's going to scooch forward, and I managed to park it for birdie. Good putt. Next hole, hole 12, par 3. You have a couple of lines, left, the middle, or the right. Choose one and get to the green. 205 feet, even though it is uphill, you could still use a putter or a mid at best just to get up there. Lessen the variable so it doesn't skip or doesn't do anything crazy. I'm choosing my stable Toro and choosing the left gap to hit. There it is, fairway, and it is parked. Good birdie. Getting a little bit of momentum now. I mean, 12 holes in, neg 3. Decent score so far. On to the next hole. Hole 13, par 3, 258 feet. This particular hole can be a little bit of a headache. You can see there's 2 Mandos there that is at the entrance of the second part of the fairway. It leads dogleg left from the tee, and it's asking for just either a spike hyzer or a skipping shot, a flare skip with a high-speed driver. So that's kind of like my idea. So I went with my Champ Fireberg, except I totally shank it and I don't hit the fairway, just go straight to the rough. So now I'm on recovery mode, trying to just get back into the fairway. Going with my Maple. It's basically like AGL's version of a zone. I want a little bit of Anheuser, but obviously still trying to make the Mando, so I didn't want to turn it over and miss the Mando. Otherwise, I'd be even in more trouble. Now I'm back on the fairway, shooting with my darts. You can see the drop zone there, too, on my left side in case you do miss the Mando. I was able to get close with my upshot and get my bogey to finish off the hole. On to the next one, hole 14, par 4, 433 feet. You have this tunnel shot that it's going to get you to the other part of the fairway. You'll have some trees to contend with unless you land on the right side where it's a little bit more open. Then you just have to, again, navigate through some more trees to land on the mound and hopefully get a good position for a birdie look. Anytime it's a tunnel shot, I'm usually going with my sidewinder, especially at this distance. I went a little left and a little high, but somehow, some way, it pushed through, and I was able to land in the fairway and being truthfully in a really good position. The basket is just right there, maybe like 80 feet in front of me. This downhill kind of pushed my disc forward. And that drive was completely wasted because I messed up my upshot and hit the trees. Footing was kind of weird, but yeah, I was actually really annoyed at myself for missing a very simple upshot. So now I'm just playing for par, trying to get forward with my Toro. Landed in a pretty good position. I mean, pretty close for a par bid. Not the worst considering, but again, there's so many birdieable holes here on this course, especially in the AMS layout, that you really need to get those lines like properly hit at least. Another par 4 for this hole, hole 15, 431 feet. It's a pretty narrow fairway. You can see from the left and the right, there's a lot of those little just bushes, the shrubs that are just like tall grass and can cause problems and really give you bad footing or like get you out of place quickly. So the strategy here is just to really like, again, stay on the fairways and make it easy for yourself. Go with my Duo Leopard 3 here, my more stable one. So I wanted to do a Annie backhand for it to gently fade back into the fairway. It's to left, and that angle was not ideal. So it didn't look that bad once I threw it from the tee, but I mean, finding the disc where it was horrible. And looks like I'm in a survival shelter. I had nothing. I mean, I had a little window. I just chipped out my Firebird and got the hell out of there. Here's my bid for birdie. I honestly wasn't expecting to hit that. I was just trying to lay it up. But even with that, I was really upset that it didn't go in because it looked so good. There's another par. Honestly, happy to get par considering where I was from my drive. So, hole 16, par 3, 296 feet. Again, you gotta go through the woods, do a straight shot. Probably people will probably do a hyzer flip with their hex or something like that. I mean, a gentle fade. It doesn't need to be a beefy one. So that is probably the purest line. A backhand with just a hyzer flip with a gentle fade for a righty. But for me as a lefty, I'm gonna go with my rock and just going for a gentle Annie to kind of just glide to the basket. I didn't give it enough of an angle, but I did manage to land at the fairway in circle 2 for a long bid for birdie on the knee. There's the comebacker for the par. 2 more holes left. Hole 17, par 3, 285 feet. You have 2 lines again, left or the right. Or you can get cheeky and get lucky through the middle. But people usually just go left or right. And straight shot until you get to the fairway. Either way is fine. I mean, there's enough of the trees on the left and right to kind of get you spooked, but honestly, just make sure your disc fades in the correct direction towards the basket and you should be fine. Going with my T-Bird here, it has a small amount of flip up and it does go straight, with the fade not being as aggressive as my other discs, so that was my disc of choice. And I mean, honestly, that would have been great if it didn't hit the tree. You could say that about a lot of things when you're playing disc golf, but yeah, I just needed to be on the left side a little bit more there. So now I'm landed in the fairway, have a approach shot with my dart. And then here's my putt for par. Last hole, hole 18, par 4, 436 feet. There is a Mando on the right at around 211 feet. The drop zone is also right next to it in case you do miss it. But honestly, you just stay on the left side of that Mando, and there's a lot of lines to the basket. So not that crazy of a par 4. Pretty soft. I mean, I'm sure pros can just push and even get there for an eagle look. Here I am with my Heimberg Destroyer, going for more of a straight line and a more gentle of a fade. I thought it hit something there, but it managed to actually push past the trees and land in a good spot for on the fairway. So I'm left with an upshot with my dart. And taking my time here because my footing is kind of awkward, especially if I'm trying to jump putt. I think I just choose to spin the disc here instead. Yeah. Oof. Almost landed an eagle. But yeah, now it's pretty easy shot for a birdie. Started with a bird, ended with a bird. Honestly, not a bad round. Neg 3 overall. Good game. So just a quick round recap. Neg 3, honestly, there's a lot. I left a lot of putts and birdies out there. Fairway hits were pretty decent at 89%, but my circle 1 putting is I only had 27. I managed to save a lot of strokes because I was able to park a lot of the holes. I mean, netted me 33% of birdies. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this course, and honestly, I'm super thankful that it's open and it's the new shiny thing around here. So being able to play it is just such a fun time. So I want to thank Northern Reach Disc Golf Club, David Willman, Ryan Kelso, all the volunteers who put their effort into this course. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.